If you're in marketing, this is going to be the most useful video you're going to watch all year, and it has nothing to do with AI.
You are my brother, Anakin!
I'm going to share my top 5 free resources. That's basically a cheat sheet for top tier marketing. So let's dive in. Okay, so for the first one, we're going to go to marketingexamples.com. It's like a library of top tier marketing examples from all over the world. On the left side, we see some categories like acquisition, conversion, and then some subcategories like sales, social, copywriting, landing pages, etc. So depending on what project you're working on, for example, copywriting, just go to the section and you're going to see a bunch of cool examples. For example, if we go to like these great copywriting tips, here we get to see some all-time classic examples for copywriting. Here's the one for Volkswagen, and it has a bit of tidbit on like why that example was so good or like what principles were used in marketing. So you like, as you look at the examples, you actually get to learn. And then pro tip, use these examples, add it to Claude or ChatGPT and like put your product and ask AI to help you using the same principles to generate copy or any ideas for your own product or whatever copywriting work you're working on. I said no AI, but I guess I can give like how this could be used with AI now. So if you go to socials here, we see some examples of like, social media growth. Here's some examples of Twitter posts where like why this one did do well, or like how you can start thinking from writing from this way to this way. Oh, you have a post here, how this creator did this massive giveaway that got them so much more following and engagement through their content. So if you can read through this, it's going to be a whole deep dive. Or you can go to sales here and have an example of like, some cold emails that have been successful in the past. So this one kind of covers a lot of writing stuff, but it doesn't cover newsletters. So if we go to growthinreverse.com, you kind of have to sign up for free, which is you're going to get enrolled into their newsletter. Which is fair because, they do put a lot of work here. So yeah, once you signed in, and even if you don't want to read the newsletter, you go to archive here. And this is like really, really deep dives into like how different creators and people have built their email newsletters, have monetized it and all that stuff. So here right at the top, we see like, how Lenny from Lenny's newsletter has built his like newsletter that makes like millions. And on the right here, an example how Alex Garcia from marketingexamine.com and how he built his onboarding strategy for his emails so he can get people to really come open the emails and engage with the content and all that stuff. You can kind of go through this and see which topic that's going to be more relevant to the goal you're trying to accomplish. As an example here, if you look at these deep dives here for either Lenny or Alex, these are really detailed. Like it can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. The content doesn't end. So set aside good 15 minutes. You can't really shortcut it your way through. Unless you want to use AI tools to summarize it. But I would say give them a good read because they're really useful and they're dense but super useful. Speaking of emails, if you don't have newsletters, but you just do traditional email marketing.
Traditional can be good.
Let's go over to Milt.com. So this one's specifically for e-commerce brands. So this is like a library of all the good emails written by all the popular brands in the world. So you don't need to sign up unless you don't want to. You can really search for examples without signing up here. So I'm going to search for Lululemon here and I have a date filter, which is automatic. I can change that. And now I get to see all the emails Lululemon is sending. So that way, if there's like a back to school happening, there's Christmas happening, I can go to all these brands and see what kind of campaigns they're running. Or I can go to like previous years and see what campaigns they're on last year. So I can get inspired. I can look at like how they structured the emails with the text and the call to actions. So basically like anything I need to learn about doing these email campaigns, I can like refer to the brands who are spending a lot of resources. And I've probably done all the testing to know what's going to work the best. Yeah, this is just one example. If you go to the brands tab here, you get to see all the brands they have in this library. So we have Sephora, Michael Kors, Burberry, American Eagle. You can go down the list. All these brands kind of range from different pricing tiers as well. So you actually get to see the difference between a brand like, Gap, which is not as expensive as like Jimmy Choo, and how their emails are different from each other, like how they're trying to play on their branding and the marketing campaigns and all that stuff. But don't worry if you're not an e-commerce brand. So we're going to go over to reallygoodemails.com. So this is where it's a lot more advanced than Milt, but Milt is pretty good for e-commerce stuff. Here, you can sort of filter the emails by like the user behavior. You can filter by category. For example, let's say if you go to behavioral emails, here we can look at like referral, abandoned cart, engagement, post-purchase, retention. So just click on any email you're trying to work on or the campaign you're working on. And now you get to see a bunch of examples of how popular brands across the globe have been using their email marketing campaigns to do that. Pro tip again, you can take these emails, you can screenshot them, and you can, use a Figma plugin and you can add this design to Figma and like, manipulate it, but use it safely because this is like kind of the copywriting work. As long as you don't copy and you just want to use it for inspiration, maybe do that. Or if you're a SaaS business, you can just type in SaaS, you can search it by categories for SaaS, and you have examples of like, all the popular SaaS brands like Grammarly, Airtable. Okay, moving on. You may have heard of this already, but if you go to mobin.com, this is going to help you level up with your design team. Imagine those days when like, a designer on your team or like your dev team wants you to design a landing page or pricing page or something, so you can experiment, we can do some A/B testing, and you don't have any design skills.
No skills, no experience.
So here, iOS, Android, web, whatever sort of platform that you're trying to design things for, just pick that and search for whatever you think you want to design. For example, let's say marketing, you get to design a lot of landing pages, a lot of like pricing pages for testing. So just type in pricing page, for example, for web, and like, maybe pick like what kind of industry you're in, maybe AI, finance, business. And you have examples of like all these big brands and the pricing pages that they use. So, again, of course, you can do this manually, kind of go to each company and like look at their pricing page. You kind of have to sign up for it to view. And of course, there's like limitation on how much you can use in the free plan. Nonetheless, it's pretty useful. And again, you can take the screenshot, you can give it to Claude, you can give it to Figma, and like make it all editable. So if you want to like, start off not from a blank slate, but use this as a template to build on top of, you have opportunities to do so. These were all the resources which I think is super useful for anyone working in marketing, but I have a bonus one for you. This is like one of my favorite tools. If you go to designstripe.com and you go to the tools section, there are two tools in particular I really like. So the first one is called illustrations. So here, this is like one of those corporate illustrations which some people find useful and some people absolutely hate. Just with the slider, you can see how much details you want to add to the scene. Likewise, you can just pick any element. You can just kind of like swap elements through the library of elements, which I think kind of makes it super useful or like super quick to edit things and kind of make the illustration a bit more personalized without having like to rely on a graphic designer. And of course, you can change the colors as well. The other one is 3D mockup templates. So again, if you're marketing, you're a freelancer, selling digital products, you're working for a company, they have a whole bunch of templates for like device mockups and stuff, which are super neat. I kind of like these templates quite a lot. They're very like chic. And these templates these days could also be generated just using Midjourney if you kind of know how to prompt those. But yeah, I find these super useful just to kind of get things done quickly. Please leave a thumbs up if the video helped you and subscribe for more tools.